What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
Presented by Scott Credit Union, your St. Louis Blues.
Yo, Hawaii. Come on, what's going on? This is the BlueNote Fane Report. Aloha, how are you doing? This is Guy, and for the first time ever, I am with Wendy and Lance, and I'm having some headset issues, which I had all working before. Let me see if I can figure it out here. No, that's right. That's right. I don't know why it's not coming out of our headsets, but I guess we'll just have to figure it out as we go along here. Hey, everybody, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I am at Vitale's Hideaway in Worden, Illinois. Yay! Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties again. We're not hearing each other in our headsets. Hopefully, when Shaggy pops on, we'll be able to. I can kind of sort of hear it there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So
Yeah,
first of all, let me welcome to my left, or to my right, to my right, the man, the goalie, Mr. Lance, the drop, the Scott.
It's great to be here.
Yep, thank you, Lance. And to my left, our enemy, our frenemy, our buddy, our pal. He's been with me since the beginning. Windy City Hockey. Hey, Windy, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, this is the first time we've all three been together live, right? We've done probably 100 shows, close to that. And over 5 years, we've probably done
At least.
yeah, and we've never been in the same room together. So for the first time, we are out here. We're going to be talking about the season, the Blues home opener, the first week of the season. It's been a good season so far. I've enjoyed it. Wendy, what do you think?
Well, for the Blackhawks standpoint, yeah, it's been a very good season for the Hawks compared to what they were supposed to be. But St. Louis, I thought, has started out pretty well.
Yeah, they've got a great record. Lance, what are your thoughts on the very opening of the season?
One good thing that I like is how they have been able to come back. I know that they've not been playing well a lot of the games in the first period and second period, and they've had to come back. And I think that shows a team that really likes to work hard and a team that's not going to give up, which is great.
Yeah. Well, I just figured out why we weren't hearing it in our headphones. I didn't have mine plugged in, and mine's the main one.
Okay.
So as soon as I plugged in, so I dropped the volume down. So you should be able to do the headsets now. Is that better?
Yeah, it's slightly.
Okay, we can play it. Can you hear in your headset now?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was me. So number one on here is the main.
Yep.
So it's got to go through one before it goes to the others. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Dum dum, give me gum gum. Right. No, it's been an interesting season so far. I like what the NHL's tried to do. They're highlighting veterans. They're highlighting some of the the superstars. They're highlighting some of the newer guys. Bedard's still getting his I don't even know a nice way to say it. He's getting his what do you call it? Happy ending. so to say, from the NHL.
I mean, he's playing pretty well with Teuvo Teravainen on his wing. Also with Nick Foligno playing up there with him because they started him out with Mikheyev. Yeah, that wasn't going out so well for 20 minutes. And then Foligno with Teravainen works out perfectly.
Yeah. And then the really weird issue is the Celebrini one, right? I watched that game and I've watched it 3 times. I didn't see where he got hurt.
Yeah, I have no clue. It came out of nowhere in the morning after the game, was it?
Yeah.
And nothing else has come out of it. It's kind of strange incidents that whoever had Celebrini on their fantasy team must have been very upset after the game he had in his first ever.
Well, the one thing that I will talk about this a minute. First of all, I gotta highlight this place. Now, I cannot show the atmosphere here because this place is going to be on Bar Rescue in February, right? And there's a small chance, and I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit. There's a small chance that we're going to do a live show from here for that opening.
Oh, that'd be good.
For that watch party.
That'd be nice.
Right? If we can work it out, and I've talked to Nick, the owner, and you guys met him on the last show. Great guy.
Yep.
We might be here for a show here, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be nice.
Right? But the food here is, I mean, I've had 4 or 5 different things, and everything is great.
I've had one, and Guy recommended it to me. In a lot of places, they say they do a Philly cheesesteak well, but this place really does a Philly cheesesteak well. A huge amount of meat. I wish I could show you the sandwich, but of course I've eaten most of it, so I won't do that to you. But the French fries are excellent. They're seasoned, but they're not over seasoned. It's really, really good food, and everything looks good. I've only had the Philly cheesesteak, and like Guy said, he's had several meals here. But if the rest of the food is anything like the Philly cheesesteak, then you people need to come here.
Well, this place is now the official bar and watch party of the Blue Note Fan Report. I will tell you that. They are now one of This Bar Bleeds Blue. They've gotten that stuff up. So if you come to watch a game here, because they will show all the games. If you come, except probably won't be able to do, and a lot of bars can't do this. The ESPN Plus games.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. A lot of bars are because they're set up on DirecTV. Okay. So they're not set up for webcasts or whatever. So that's kind of an issue. But the games will be on, because I think the Sharks game originally was not at any of the bars in Soulard.
Oh, wow.
Right. And that's because it was an ESPN. So I was watching it on my phone. Right. That was a shocking game. We'll get back to that. But the food here is just really good. They'll show all the games. And if you come here and watch it, you get points on your Blues app. For I don't know how they're using them. I think they're for the Blues Club or whatever it is. You get points for it, so it's a great thing to do. So Friday, Guy can bring me a barbecue pork calzone and a Philly without. I think he means a Philly cheese. Unfortunately, I'd have to get it come up here Thursday night, which I'm going to the game. Come up here to have it for you that first thing in the morning. I don't know about that, bud.
Now, real quick, when somebody says a Philly cheesesteak without, that means a Philly cheesesteak without the Velveeta cheese.
The whip, cheese whip.
Yep.
Cheese whiz,
that
cheese
means
whiz,
no
cheese whiz.
cheese whip on it.
Okay, I get it now. Well, that is one thing that I think. Can you hear me at the bar, Miss Bartender? I can't remember her name. I'm going to ask her to bring us an order of the calzone, pulled pork calzone. Or not calzone, pulled pork. Is it a cannoli?
I thought it was a cannoli.
Cannoli. Can you order us a pulled pork cannoli so we can try it on the show? Okay, thanks. So we will try without no onions and peppers. Okay. Yeah, I got you. I will see what I can do, but it might be like 3 days old in my refrigerator.
And the bun would probably be really soggy because, guys, this meat is juicy and tender.
Oh yeah, the food. I've had one already, so they are really, really good. Nick, what do you? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting about you over here. I meant to put. Okay, well, you grab my jersey.
Yeah,
I meant to put my jersey on.
Just a minute.
Yeah. Also, we're going to give away a set of headphones here, Bluetooth Blues headphones. Right now, there's only one person in the bar. So if you can hear us and you can get here in the next 45 minutes, you have a chance at winning these, or I'm going to have to give them to somebody on, through the show. And I also have a $50 iTunes gift card to give away. So let me put my jersey on. I knew the headsets worked because I had them working earlier.
Fine.
There we go. Now I don't feel naked. So let's start talking about the season by talking about what we had a show last Monday, right? And we did a preview, and we basically went over the five areas of hockey, right? We talked about the 5 areas of hockey and what our level of concern was with the Blues. Now I will do this. So I didn't give you a chance to do it for the Blackhawks, right?
Okay.
So real quick, the 5 areas: offense, defense, power play, penalty kill, goaltending. Level of concern: 1 being your most concern, 5 being your least concern. Where would you put the Blackhawks, real quick? If I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
Well, with the fact that they've had already 3 games, it's kind of hard to say at this point because they've played pretty well on each of the games. I would just say this. My main concern going into the season was how they started and how they actually played the game. Because last year they would start games terribly and it would just snowball from there.
They were digging themselves a hole very early.
Every game, it seemed like they would be down maybe a goal or 2 within the first 5 minutes of the game. Utah, it was interesting. I was thinking, they were going to have that same issue, but afterwards, they've pretty much cleaned up their games. Each game they've had, they've really played a lot more of a structure to it where they are coming out with speed, getting to the puck early and moving it well. But right now it's hard to say because I'm not seeing the issues I was thinking I was going to see with them because I've already seen 3 games.
As of right now, I know it's only been a couple games, but as of right now, like I said, on a scale of 1 to 5, and I know it's early, but what you've seen out of those 3 games on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being bad, 5 being great, the offense, what do you think about it so far?
I will put the offense right now probably about 3.5. Just because they had the 1 good game against the Oilers, but the Oilers aren't scoring goals and their defense is very lackluster.
Yes.
I mean, they're right now it's a carbon copy of last season for the Oilers, right?
It is.
The Oilers keep coming in. They've got all this great offense. Not a solid defense. I mean, a little less than stuff, but they have no goaltending. They have none. They have absolutely, but they're not relying on their, Grant Fuhr Oilers, right? I mean, Grant Fuhr is a great goalie, but goals got scored because he didn't have a defense in front of him. But they're not relying on that. They're relying on putting pucks in the back of the net, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Utah is exactly who I thought Utah would be.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly. I said that they were going to get a bump from the move and all of that.
The initial push.
And you can see it. But at the same time, you see the Coyotes in that team. I absolutely, the game against the Hawks, I looked at that and said, this is the Coyotes. They're going to, they're getting the bump, but you can also see them, the mistakes that are being made, the mental, like, they don't know how to play in front of a fan base, and you could tell it upset them. Am I wrong here?
No. And the thing about Utah is, teams move, they're going to get that bump. Now, when the Golden Knights were a new team, everybody's excited, and they played very well in their first year. Utah's not going to be like Vegas. They're just not going to have that success. And like Guy said, I watched that game. I watched the game against the Blackhawks, and I'm watching. I'm thinking, you could put Arizona jerseys on them, and it's the Arizona Coyotes. It still looks like the same team, and I know it basically is the same team with some new players. But the coach, I think they've got a good coach, but I think he's just not letting them know, hey, we got a great opportunity here. The fans are going nuts over us. We may not win every game, but let's not leave anything on the ice.
I don't think they know how to play in front of a crowd.
They don't.
Right?
It doesn't seem like it because they look like the
They're
first
shocked.
period of play in that game alone. Yeah, they looked outstanding.
All right.
The Hawks looked like the
Deer in the headlight,
yeah,
look, right?
But then over time, the Hawks honestly should have tied the game and won the game the way they played it.
Mhm.
It just a weird bounce off the post from a Bertuzzi shot, and it went down the ice, and the Utah, whatever they were wanting to name themselves, put it in on the empty net, and then right after that, they just put in a fluke goal, basically.
And that's another thing. I go off on this with a lot of people I know. If you're going to have a new team, they had enough time to prepare. Let's get a good name. I don't want to do a Washington Commanders and, have them do Washington Football Club like they did with the Commanders
for a couple of years.
Redskins for a couple of years. I think they should have just come up with a name, and it really would have separated them from Phoenix as opposed to Utah.
Well, but I gotta stop you for a second there because I understand what they're doing. Okay, no, because I understand what they're doing. What they've done, they are trying to make this, and like the commissioner said,
going with this.
the hybrid of a move expansion team.
Yeah.
So they're giving the fan base a chance to get involved in the naming process. And because of that, I'm okay with the Utah Hockey Club for one season. Now, the Washington Commanders, they were the Washington Football Club for like 3 or 4 seasons.
3 years, I think.
Right? So it wasn't like they took time to get a name. I mean, it was like, okay, we're having this process, and this is why we're doing this. They just kept that until they decided that it didn't work. Utah is saying, okay, fans, here's your chance, name the team. And I like that, especially in Utah, because this gives you have a fan base that's not a hockey fan base. You need to teach this fan base how to lose, how to win, and how to understand the game. And by giving them a chance to name the team, you connect that fan base to the team.
Mhm.
So going with Utah Hockey Club for a season, I know I see where you're coming, but I got to stop you because it's the right decision.
Well, I also think that one of the reasons they did it, instead of naming them immediately, is if they call them the Utah Hockey Club, it gives them the identity of being Utah's hockey club.
Mhm.
It lets everybody know we're here to stay. And I think that's one of the reasons why they did it. I've been told, I might be wrong, don't quote me on this, that it's most likely going to be the Utah Yeti.
And I don't have a problem with that
sounds like
name.
that.
No.
Well, it's leaked, but it's not official.
No, it's not official yet. There's one other one, and I can't think of what it is. It's
The Mammoth, I think.
Yeah, Mammoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Yetis. I'll be buying a jersey if it's a Yetis.
Yeah, I like the name. Now, if that is the name, you've got to come up with a cool logo.
Yeah, you have to.
Right now, their jerseys kind of look like the Winnipeg Ice from the
Yep.
WHL,
Yeah.
Yep.
which now the Ice don't exist
Nope.
because they relocated them 2 years ago now, and their jerseys are pretty much that same template. I think they need to add another color to their color pattern because right now it's just black, blue, and white.
Mhm.
If they add like the Utah Jazz purple into it, I think they will actually help by brand
Yep.
matching because some cities want to have a matching
Yep.
brand color, like Pittsburgh with all
Yep.
their color. The Blackhawks and Bulls have the same colors. With
Well,
the-
if you also
Yeah.
remember, the St. Louis Cardinals football team and the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team
Oh,
have the
yeah.
same colors.
I mean, well, the Cardinals started out in Chicago.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they were. Hold on a sec, guys. I'm wearing hearing aids, and I'm kind of
That's all right.
dealing with feedback.
Okay.
And now it's here we go. I'm gonna try to see if I know it's the headsets causing the feedback. See if I can turn the volume down on them a little bit.
But
Maybe
Nick,
that'll help.
am
it.
I wrong, or do their Utah jerseys not look exactly, but they kind of have a tone of what the Krakens are? It's not
I can
exactly the
see
same.
that.
Yeah.
They're both a dark base color,
Yeah,
like
blue and black.
blue and navy blue
Yeah.
versus deep
Deep
black,
black.
and the light blue and light teal. There's a
little bit.
similarity.
Yeah, a little bit.
If they add purple, it will just help differentiate it, and also the NHL can use some purple in the league.
Yeah,
again.
and one of the fans, a fan I watch on YouTube, I can't think of his name. I think it's Post to Post. He's got a YouTube channel on there. He was doing the jerseys of what he thought it might look like, and one of the fans set in a Utah jersey with a Yeti on it, and it did have purple in it.
Yeah. I agree. I think that does need purple. But you said something that I want to go back to. You said fluke goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know where I'm going with this? Fluke goal. I have never seen the NHL make such a big deal over a fluke goal as they did on Celebrini's or Sabrini's.
That was crazy.
Okay, they're making it like this guy scored a Michigan, right? Did a Connor Bedard Michigan, right? From behind the net against the rival team. Yes, I remember that, and we also destroyed them that game.
He almost did it again against Utah the other night, but
he tried.
But the Utah defenseman got there in a way a little bit.
And they're making, even at the end of the first half, our first period, you're goaling that, and he's going, I didn't even know he scored a goal. I was just trying to pass the puck, but they're making a big deal out of him scoring that. So someone tells me, Bushnevich scores right after that, right? And someone sends me a message and goes, hey, I picked Bushnevich to score the first goal of the game. And I responded, well, technically Kessel scored the first goal for the Blues.
Yeah, technically you're correct.
Right? So that was kind of there are so many fluke goals in the league. Yeah, there are a lot of fluke goals in the league. But the way they talked about Celebrini, like this was number one. Like remember last season, or was it last season? Bedard's first season, right?
Yeah, the last year.
23-24.
After he scored the first, I think he scored his first goal in his first game, right?
No, he did it the next game in Boston.
Yeah, second game. The thing with Gretzky's 896 and then Bedard won. I felt like they were going to do that with Celebrini.
The reason why they did that with Bedard and Gretzky, it was the TNT broadcast, and Gretzky was on the broadcast, so they kind of just wanted to have that joke out there.
Yeah.
But the Celebrini goal, it looked like he was doing a half spinorama.
Yeah.
But and then to just feed it off.
He was protecting the puck.
And he was playing it smart, and it just flukely. It was a fluke, and it went off his skate. It caught Kessel
skating in. So, 1 week into the season, right? The Blues open tomorrow. I had said, when we'll go over my 5 areas of hockey and where my concern was, what we originally started this conversation. I said offense, penalty kill, power play. No, actually, I switched it. I went offense, power play, penalty kill. But I said you could swap those two. Defense, goaltending. Talk about goaltending. I have zero issue with the St. Louis Blues goaltending. I think that they have shown, even though Hoffer had somewhat of a rough game against.
No, he didn't.
Against San Jose.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, was that 5 goals or 4?
4.
4. At least 2 of those were not on him.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think 3 of them were on him.
Like I said, at least 2.
Yeah.
He played well enough to win if the team would have played well enough in front of him. But like you said, a lot of experts are putting Hoffer and Bennington in the top 10 goalie tandems.
Yeah.
I say it's number 8 to 10. I'd somewhere in that range.
I've got them a little higher. I think they're in the top 5.
I was going to say you have them probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think they're in the top 5.
I think Nick has them at 20 or 21.
Because here's the thing with when you look at tandems, right? Yeah. A lot of times with the tandems, with the exception of Nashville and Wedgwood, made me look like shit. Pardon the language.
Did you have them on your fantasy team?
Yes, I did, and I took it. I took it in the shorts for that one, and I had Bennington too. I took it in the shorts on both of them. My first week, I got destroyed. I got 15, 3, and 6.
Oh, who's your goaltenders?
Huh?
Who's your goaltenders?
Bennington and Wedgwood.
Well, that's your fault there for taking Wedgwood and Nashville.
Well, I have no other choice. I mean, goalies in my league, they're gold. I couldn't.
Yep.
If I traded Wedgwood, I would not get a goalie equal to him. No. And not only that, the problem is in my league, we start 2 goalies. So there's only 32 leagues. There's 32 teams. Mm-hmm. There are teams that have 4 goalies. So there are teams that have 0 starting goalies, right? 0 goalies that play at all. So I'm stuck with Wedgwood and Bennington unless something happens and Zerzinko gets, Huso gets hurt and Zerzinko comes up.
Does somebody have Jake Allen?
Or Hoffer. Hoffer.
Do you have Jake Allen?
No, Jake Allen. No,
He got a
somebody's got Jake Allen.
He got a shutout, and I was going to say, with the way New Jersey plays defense,
Yeah.
he might be a good goalie if you can ever pick him up.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not saying he's going to be great, but you know, did you guys see how well Martin Berger's son played? Did you
Yeah,
watch
he
that?
did.
He
I
didn't do
watched
too
a
bad.
little bit of that.
Yeah, he didn't do too bad. Looks like at least he knows what he's doing.
Right. So like I said, and I know you were not high on Blues goaltending at all.
Yeah, but I did say you guys had one of the better tandems in the
league.
Yeah,
Are in the Central for.
in the Central.
I think when I put him second in the Central, and you were like right there with me.
Yeah, I had you guys around second in the Central.
Well, the thing is, with a lot of quote unquote tandems, the starting goalie is so good that the second guy doesn't matter.
No, he's only going to play 15 games probably.
Right.
20
Yeah.
games.
So he's gonna play 20, 25 games. So he almost doesn't matter. Well, with the Blues, you have a true 1A, 1B in my mind.
Yeah, you do. I'd say
Right.
so.
I really think you do have a true 1A and 1B. And you know what? Every goaltender has a team that's their Achilles heel, and the Sharks are Hoffer's Achilles heels. That's all there is to it. I mean, they ended up beating them in overtime, but they were his Achilles heel.
Yeah, and one thing about the Blues, when you're talking about Hoffer and Bennington up here, I really love Colton Ellis. I think someday he's going to be a backup. I just don't see him as a starter. But you know, if he came in and you picked him up, let's say for a game or something, I think he could win a game for you, a game or two. I don't.
Zerzinko gets called up before him. I think Colton Ellis is trade bait.
He could be. You know, the Blues always have 4 or 5 good goalies in their system, and they always trade 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just to bring you see, you're right, like on the edge of the camera view there. No, so I just think Ellis is trade bait. To be honest, he's number 4 on the list, and he's not a Bennington.
No, he's not.
you know, Bennington was 4 on the list, but Bennington was something special, and somebody saw it.
There's not many guys that can be ranked 4 in a system, an NHL system, and all of a sudden give a chance to play, and they do what they did. Actually, I've never seen it. That's a guy come in halfway through the season, basically, and have a 1.87 or 1.93 goals against and win all those games and just play lights out. I can't remember a guy who's 4th on the list on a team. A guy that had been loaned recently to the Bruins minor league team.
Yeah,
Providence, really?
Yeah, he was on. He was loaned to Providence,
Oh, yeah.
and Providence wouldn't play him.
No,
they were going to send him back to Providence, and he's talked about this.
Yep.
He was sitting either in a restaurant or on the bus or something, and he just said, "No, I'm not going." And he called his agent and told his agent, "Tell the Blues I'm not going to Providence. They need to do something else."
Right.
Now I remember this.
And then the Blues, he basically called the Blues bluff, and the Blues went ahead and sent him to where I forget where their minor league was. I think with the Wolves. When I went the Wolves at the time.
I thought it was
I thought you moved to San Antonio.
Tony, yeah, it might have been San Antonio.
Because,
Yeah, but they
was
ended up
taking
sending
over.
him to San Antonio, and he finally got to play. Got some good play time, and next thing you know, he's up. Now I can think of, not in hockey, but I think of one sport, similar situation. Similar. Now you guys are probably going to beat me up over this, but I can think of a sport where a third stringer took a team to a championship. See if you guys can come up with it. A third stringer.
Was this third stringer not in the league, and they were third stringer at once, and then came back?
No,
to the league?
they were a third string rookie.
Not hockey though.
Not hockey.
I don't know. I was thinking of NFL.
That's the right sport. It is an NFL.
That's who I'm trying to think
Are
of
you
here.
thinking Warner
Not Warner.
That's what I was
or
gonna say.
Brady?
Huh?
Brady?
Brady was a third stringer. They had I forget, Bledsoe,
Drew
right?
Bledsoe was a starter.
Bledsoe was a starter. There was somebody else, and then Brady, 6th round draft pick out of Michigan, was a clipboard holder. And I think at like game 3 or something, the other guy was just blowing it. And then Brady came in, and I think he took him to the Super Bowl against the Rams. That was his first year, if I remember right.
You're right.
His rookie year, right?
Yep, you're right.
So that was like, to me, that was slightly comparable,
Slightly, yeah, I understand.
right? Now, while we're talking goalies, well, I just screwed myself. There was somebody in the NHL that got cut here or waived very recently. And this is a former Blues player that everybody thought the Blues made a mistake. They traded him. Now you know who I'm talking about.
I already knew where you were going because
when I said goaltender, I know we talked about this before show, and you were blank.
Because I put the.
We actually were talking about it before you came by.
When we were over there.
Did you come up with the player?
Yeah,
we were talking about Husso.
Husso.
And I kept telling people that gave me a hard time when I said he wasn't good enough to stay. He's going to fall apart. And what does he do? He gets a chance to start, and he's never been that number one guy that Detroit thought he would be.
Yeah.
They also sent down Reimer. I thought they said
I think they did. Yeah,
Right.
I do think so. But then again, they did sign like 5 goalies in the offseason. Steve Yzerman, I was like, what are you doing with your net? Because you have James Reimer, Billy Husso, Sebastian Koska, who's coming up. There were 2 other goalies.
You know what that shows me? That shows me that he's getting a little desperate.
Yeah.
And he knows he doesn't have a good goalie. He knows he doesn't. So he's going to just get 4 or 5 guys and sign them. And hopefully one of them will show something.
Yeah. I want to put this out real quick. So I got a few people watching. So we got these really nice earbuds that Lance has donated. I want to give them away to somebody, but here's what I want to do. Right now, I know even the person in the bar is watching online. So for everybody watching online, if you can tag this show to your friends and get a couple of friends to watch it and put your name in the comment, so I know that that's where they got it from, somebody who gets people to watch the show tonight will get these earbuds. And I also have a $50 gift card or iTunes gift card that I can give to somebody. So let's
real quick.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody outside of your household.
Yeah, outside of your household,
It could
right?
be your wife or your
not your wife.
kid.
Yeah, get somebody else to watch the show, not your same. Big old thank you to Sammy Helms, Andrea Zimmerweiser, Joshua McMingleton, Mark Whitehead, Dre Montez, my high school buddy, Tad Dieterman, Gabe Fuchs Overturf, who's in the bar tonight, and E. Guido, who's watching us or listening to us at work. Thank you for putting some love and giving us some love in the air. Keep sharing the show and keep watching. And don't forget, if you're in the I don't know if it's Southern Illinois. This is Central.
Yeah, this is Southern.
Some people call it South Central.
Yeah, South Central Illinois. We're about an hour south of Springfield and about 30 minutes north of downtown St. Louis on I-55 at Highway 4. And we are Route 4, and we are right off of Route 4. So come check us out. We'll probably be here another 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, we've been here 30 minutes. It's a good show so far, right? Yep. Let's get into tomorrow night. It is the home opener. You come unplugged?
Yep. I'll get it.
You got it?
Yep.
I don't see where you came unplugged.
Yeah, we're doing
you came unplugged on your side.
Oh.
Your headset. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, you were plugged in there. Okay, there we go. So the Blues will open tomorrow against the Minnesota Wild. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is probably the most important home opener since 2020, or the 2019-2020 season. You have started out very well, record-wise. You've had some issues, but I said on our show, if you remember this, in the first 8 games, the first 10% of the season, they needed 10 points, right? You needed 10 points, and you got 4 out of 6, right where you needed to be. Now you have 4 home games coming up, 2 of them against Central Division teams, Minnesota and the Jets. And then you have 2, and I think you could say that each one are, if not playoff contenders, cup contenders. So you have the Islanders and then the Hurricanes.
Those 2 teams I really have questions with when they come to playoff contenders. Hurricanes lost so many players this offseason, and I just don't see much with the Islanders to actually really go for in the season. Yeah, they've gotten off to a solid start at that, but the Islanders, I really can't see truly a full playoff contender.
Yeah, we're getting a little laugh here. Chris Shockey says, I feel attacked by Lance. Wayne Hutter says 6-3 with a Kairu Hattie to start things out on home ice. You know, I can almost see it. And I hate saying that because a lot of times when the Blues have emotional games, they fall flat on their face. They fall flat on their face. But I'm going to ask, do you agree or disagree with me that this might be their most important home opener since raising the banner?
I'll let Wendy take the first.
It's hard to say, really, because for me, I'm not truly in with that, but I honestly, I don't know who you guys really had for your home openers in recent history. So,
well, let's put it this way. We opened against the Jets at the beginning of the 18-19 season and got blown out 5-0 or 5-1.
Yeah, it was 5-1.
Right. And then the next season, after we won the cup, we opened against the Caps and we lost in overtime.
Yep.
Last season, we opened against Dallas, and I think we lost in overtime to Dallas and then played Seattle in the second game. That was our home opener. So our home opener was against Seattle and was an overtime win.
Okay.
And that was
Yeah, I was at
last season. That was last season.
I was at that game, and it did not look like they were going to.
The season that we had when we played in the Pacific, we opened against. Oh, I can't. Oh, I wanted. It wasn't Vegas.
Vancouver?
Was it Colorado?
No, it wasn't Colorado because Vancouver played in Canada.
That's
We
right.
just played.
That's right.
I know we got beat pretty bad.
Yeah.
I know we got beat.
Okay.
So those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
Mhm.
So our home opener against, especially the fact that we've got 4 games at home, you know, for the next week, they're at home.
Okay.
Before they go on like a 4 or 5 game road trip.
Yeah.
So, and 2 of them are definitely divisional opponents. One of them is a playoff contender for sure, the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Though Jets for me are iffy. Minnesota, some people have them in the playoffs, some don't. I don't. I think that I think Marc-Andre Fleury is going to get them some wins, but his age is also going to cost them, right? And we've had Marc-Andre Fleury's number in the past. The Blues have had Andre Fleury's number. I mean, we've taken him out of games consistently, right? I do remember the Winter Classic. Did we have?
No, that wouldn't have been Fleury because Winter Classic was 22,
January of 22.
Yeah, Fleury was still with the Hawks.
Okay, right.
Wait,
no, I think it was Fleury.
He would have been still with the Hawks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so,
Because we traded him at the deadline.
At the deadline. Okay.
Deadline the following year.
Yeah. So, but no, we have had Fleury's number.
Mhm.
I know that. And if you can get, so this homestand takes us to 7 games. If you can have your 10 points, get 3 out of 4 wins in that, oh my goodness, that's setting something special up, right?
Mhm.
And to me, the thing that needs to change is 5-on-5 offense.
Mhm.
And the one thing they need to do, I think people, when I say this, one of the 2 of you is going to smack me upside the head. They need to open
NHL. Yes, you've got to be physical, but you cannot just be physical and hope the other team wears down, because other teams can be physical with you too. And they need to open this game up. They've got the young guys. Why have guys like Thomas and Kyrou? Kyrou's already got 6 points in 3 games, 2 goals and 4 assists. And when will people stop getting on to this guy? I mean, he had 2 goals in a game. People are telling me, yeah, he got 2 goals, but his defense was terrible. Jordan Kyrou is a top scorer in this league, you know, and just look at where he was last year in points wise, and he's up there. You know, it was a great game. He's played great this year, and I'm just hoping he continues it. And if he does, and this team opens up, I think they've got a chance at making the playoffs, because, you know, Guy and I disagree. I think out of every 10 games you play, you got to get 12 points. So 12 times 8 is basically 96 points. I think if the Blues want to make a playoff push, they got to get 94 to 96 points.
Yeah, well, you're saying 12 points out of 8 games?
10.
10 points?
12 points out of 10 games. That's 10 times 8. The 10 times 8 makes 80
here
games.
they are. Look what we get.
Oh, no. Is that low fat?
Yeah, I doubt it. We got to get some forks and stuff. Look at that, man. This is the pulled pork. I got to show this. Lance, I'll show it, man. I might not have the mic, but I'm going to bring it up to the camera. Guide me real quick, Lance.
Yep.
Make sure the camera. Can the camera see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
The floor saw it too.
Yeah, dumbass.
It's all right. Still looks pretty dang tasty.
Yeah, but most of the pulled pork is now on the floor. I'm sorry.
I can mix put some more on there for
No.
Yeah, I'm
you.
sorry.
No, I want you guys to
I was trying to show it.
I know, I got you.
Yeah. I'll help you clean up my mess.
Guy's a bull in a china shop.
They're like, oh, it's great. It's going to look great. And then it all gets spilled.
Normally, I'd be the one doing that.
Yeah. So, hey. But, hey, did they were they able to see it before I spilled it all?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
They look good. They look good,
Excellent.
man. So we got forks in that. So we'll get to try that here in a second. They're taking such good care of us here at Vitale's, aren't they?
Oh, my.
Right.
I've never been taken this well care of in any place I've went out to eat before.
So out of 10 games, you're saying 12 points?
12 points. So in other words, 10 times 8 is 80 games. I just rounded it down to 82 and saying that they need 12 points per 10, which gives them about 96 points for the year. Well,
okay. Yeah, I get that. And that's, but when you look at mine, that's almost where we're at. Yeah, I think we're really close. My biggest thing right now, I look at that offense, and you look at most of the goals they've scored, other than a couple that have come from. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's okay. I want you guys
right? We'll try them here in a second. We've got them. And Lance is like, no, not a second. I'm getting it now. But the goals, most of the goals that they've scored, other than when your fourth line against San Jose, have been when they've opened up the ice.
Yep.
Kyrou's 2 goals came when him and somebody else got an open ice.
Mm-hmm. Buchnevich was on one of them.
Buchnevich, he assists Buchnevich on an open ice. When the Blues get in open ice, they have a chance to score. Problem is, they spend too much time trying to get on a forecheck, which I don't think works. I think, you know what team needs to do a forecheck? A team that doesn't have talent.
Yeah.
That is a team that needs to do a forecheck. And with no disrespect to Chicago, they have a really talented top line. Second, third, and fourth, maybe that's a forechecking team.
Yeah, the second line's pretty good, actually.
Taylor Hall.
Okay.
Taylor Hall and Kershaw and Bertuzzi. That's a really solid second line.
Yep.
But does that make sense where I'm coming from? I mean, and again, maybe Chicago's a bad example, but a team with not a lot of talent or talent that go. The Blues have more talent that people are giving them credit for. And it's like they're being – do you remember the NFL commercial? Do you remember Cordell Stewart?
Yeah.
Right? It ain't that old.
I don't remember him because I don't pay attention to much of the NFL, honestly.
Cordell Stewart was a slash player, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He played quarterback. He played wide receiver. He returned kickoffs. There was a Foot Locker foot action commercial where he was running with the umbrella behind his back. You know what I'm talking about? the Blues offense feels like that. Like they're playing with an umbrella behind their back.
Kind of sluggish.
Not sluggish, but they're being held back
It's like
by the
something- yeah,
system.
It's like something's holding them back from really pushing forward offensively.
Right? Pulled pork coming in third. Yeah, I kind of screwed that up. I'm just joining. Will you stream tomorrow? No, I am at the game. I'm at the game. I cannot stream tomorrow, Erickson. For the 3 home games, I got lucky. And let me say this now. I want to thank VetTix. And if you are a veteran and you want to go to concerts or things like that, if you have not signed on to VetTix, send me a message. I'll send you my code because then I earn points. VetTix is great. I ended up in a lottery originally for the Blues tickets, and I didn't get picked in the lottery. So I went back, and the tickets are held for 24 hours.
Yep.
If they don't accept them, then it's first come, first serve. I ended up getting, upper level seats. I think one of my seats is right next to Jeremy. I can't think of his last
Jimmy
name.
Boyer?
Boyer, yeah. Which he's a friend of mine. So he's allowed me in his little chained area there.
And that's for Thursday night's game, right?
Yeah, Thursday night. And then for the Saturday game, I'm just a couple sections over in that corner on the other side.
Yeah. So guys, if you're watching the game, look for Guy right underneath the McBride and Son sign.
Oh yeah, for the home opener, I will be right there. I got really lucky. Somebody that I know, and I cannot say his name. He's a high level season ticket holder. He's given me ticket. He's given the show tickets before,
Yep.
and he wanted to give me tickets, but unfortunately, because my trip didn't get confirmed soon enough, he reached out to all of his other season ticket holders that he knew and was able to come up with me with a beautiful ticket. I am in section 109 E7 should be E6 since I was in E6. So E7, it's an all-inclusive ticket. It's a great ticket, and I could never afford it. So I'm very thankful to him and the person that donated the ticket, right? And like I said, if you are a veteran and you have not signed up with VetTix, please let me know. I want a skilled team that forechecks like the Lightning did. The Lightning didn't forecheck as much as people think they did.
No. And
Say again?
No, they didn't really.
they were more an offensive team with great goaltending,
Yeah.
Andrei Vasilevsky. And they definitely weren't a type of team that forecheck and played heavy. Did they check a lot and hit you? Yeah, they could hit you pretty well and be rough with you, but I would not call them a heavy team.
No, they weren't. They were not. The only line that was dumping the puck was the Maroon line.
Yeah.
That was their third line or fourth line, whatever line Maroon was on, was the one throwing the puck down there. Everybody else was coming into the zone with speed or bringing it. Like they would do something the Blues don't do. Kucherov would come into the zone, and if he didn't have anybody with him, he went behind the net with the puck, and he kept on skating. Now, if there was another player coming, then he'd throw it like at an angle away from that player between the play. So you have the board, the net, Kucherov coming like this between the board and the net, player coming this way, he would shoot that puck like here, right? And go to angle it off the board. Because usually, someone was going to be in that circle area or the point. That's what he was looking for, the guy coming in for the point. So he was looking for the streaker coming in for the point. And that is what they did a lot more than a forecheck. I kind of remember the only guys forechecking was their fourth line. Am I off here?
I don't remember their first 3 lines going out.
All right.
Now were their first 3 lines defensively responsible? I'd say, yeah, they were pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But I would not call their first 2 or 3 lines a checking line.
They had a third and fourth line at forecheck, but the top 2 lines were just fast skating, fast puck, and moving lines. Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. They dominated in the offensive zone. Yeah, but they didn't do that through the forecheck.
No.
They didn't do that through the forecheck. I don't think they did it. I think they did it too.
How they did that was guys, when they got in the zone, moved around a lot, made the defense move around with them. And they had a lot of little set plays that they would do. And it definitely was not forechecking that caused them most of their offense.
This smells great, doesn't it? Okay, Wendy, we got to try it.
I'm good right now.
You're good?
Really. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have a little bit of it.
Lance, you get the first bite of it, bud. We got to try this thing. I'm sorry. I know we're eating on air, but special occasion here. pulled pork cannoli.
Mm,
All right.
mm.
This is like a signature. This is one of the bar rescue dishes, if I remember correctly.
That is good.
Is it? Let's see if I can get enough of it in here. I would like show it on my fork, but then I know it's going to end up all over the place. There we
Yeah,
go.
it already ended up on the ground.
Yeah, I already ended up on the ground once, right?
That's pretty good. That cannoli is seasoned awesomely. I think that's ricotta cheese inside there. With seasoning.
And that normally when you eat a cannoli, the ricotta cheese is so overpowering.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's the pork or what with
It's the
that
texture.
ricotta
It's the
cheese in
texture.
this.
It's the texture off of, but with the other stuff they have in there with the seasoning and the pork and all that, it makes a huge difference.
It's
And-
balanced. It is
And
balanced.
normally, when you think of a cannoli, you think of it being a dessert
Yeah,
because
dessert.
that's how
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
They are a dessert treat.
Yep.
And for the ricotta inside of the cannoli, usually it's a sweeter ricotta because
Yeah.
you want it to be.
Well, I
on
think
the
the other
sweeter
thing
end.
is the outside of these are fried.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they are.
Oh, okay.
As
Yep.
a normal
Yeah,
cannoli.
if you go to New York and get a cannoli, it's going to be fried on the outside. And
Yeah.
have different fillings on the inside.
Go to anywhere that sells a cannoli,
Yep.
it's going to be a deep fried
Okay.
shell with either pistachio,
Some have
or
chocolate on top.
with chocolate. Yeah.
But they all have that ricotta cheese. But
Yep.
like Nick said, it's just
I've had them not fried too, so
Okay.
right. But oh wow, that is good. That is good. Hey Nick, we got to hand it to you. Those pulled pork cannolis, they are freaking amazing, man. They are good, right? Other than the part that I put on the floor, which someone's probably gonna kick my butt for, but thank you. They are great, man.
Thank you.
They are great. How we doing here? 52 minutes. Are you good for a little longer, Wendy?
I could go probably another 15 minutes.
All right.
15
All right.
minutes. Lance,
Thank
you
you.
still good?
Yep.
Right. I'm still good, so we'll still stay here for a little while. If I don't give the headbuds, and gift card away today, sometime this week, I'm going to just pick somebody that watched the show and send them to them.
That sounds good.
Right. We'll do something like that. So this place is great up here. Jason Nichols says, I haven't stopped eating all day since Tuesday. Well, you come up here, Jason, you'll be broke, man. This food is good. And we can't thank Vitale's enough. They have treated us amazing. They're my official place now, buds. Right? If I'm in St. Louis, we're doing shows here. Like if I lived here, we would be doing a weekly show here.
Oh, wow.
I would do a weekly show here. We do the Monday shows, and if there was a game day, we'd shift it to a Tuesday or something when I know they don't have as much going on. But yeah, I would absolutely do shows up here. And this is 30 minutes away from downtown, and it's an easy drive. I had no issues getting here every day that I've come up here. So it's easy to find. I can't show the atmosphere. Wait until February or come up yourself, right? But the atmosphere is great. They call themselves kind of a prohibition bar or speakeasy. Now, I can't believe I did this. I'm going to ask this question real quick. What does the term speakeasy mean? Do you know?
Is it? I think, and I've heard one person say the reason they did that is because they would knock on the doors to give their code.
Mm-hmm.
You had to speak easy.
Well, you're close, right? The bartender would tell you to, after you got your drinks in as you were leaving, remember, speak easy about this place.
Yep. Yeah, don't
So
be
that's
telling
how-
everybody.
Right? That's how the speakeasy came about. And this place,
Real quick, speaking of speakeasy, I don't want to push anybody into drinking, but if you do come up here, they have some cool signature cocktails on their new menu. And I'm not going to try one today, but one time when I come up, we'll have to try one. So guys, don't just think it's just some place you can get food. They've got some good mixed drinks and the food. So you've got everything here.
They got 3 that I named,
Yeah, that's right.
right? They have the Brett Hull hat trick,
Yep.
and I don't know what's in it. I know they put it on the menu,
It's
but I
blue,
don't,
isn't it?
huh?
Is that the one's blue?
Yeah, they're all blue.
All blue. Okay.
They're all blue. They have the Brett Hull hat trick. They have the BlueNote Fane Report special, and then they have the Played Your Brother Smash. Right. So I thought those would be good names, right? put name one for the show since the show's been up here and that, and they were more than happy to do that. So that was great. Let's kind of, as we're moving along here and we're talking about the season, any surprises for you, good or bad, for the beginning of the season, Lance?
I knew Edmonton would have issues just like they've had the last several years, but most of these guys have played together for a couple years and they don't look like they've played together for a couple years. I think, all the fans that said, "Oh, I'm glad Holloway and Broberg are gone and all this and that," I think they're going to regret that. I really do, because you get two guys young like that haven't been played enough in the NHL to reach their potential, but they have great potential. Even if they reach 80% of their potential, Edmonton lost them, and they should have never lost them.
All right, Wendy.
The main surprise I'm seeing, Calgary.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I didn't think they'd be that good.
I was thinking Calgary might be the worst team in the NHL this season, and they're off to a 3-0 start. We'll see what happens tomorrow when they face off against the Hawks, because that should be a good test, because both teams have played the Oilers already, and could be an interesting matchup to just see.
Calgary, I get their 3-0, but I got, who else did they play? Who were the other two games?
Now I have to.
Yeah, because I want to say that I'm not surprised they're 3-0, that the teams they played haven't played well either. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. I mean, for me, the surprise is Celebrini, right? And this is kind of here's the NHL promoting this kid, promoting, and then all of a sudden he's injured. He's day to day. Now he's week to week, and the way they're hiding it, I think that's bad for the NHL. I kind of understand it, but you can't sit there, just like Bedard last year. The NHL promoted the living crap out of Bedard,
which was a smart move. You have to admit that.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but when Bedard got hurt, when Bedard broke his jaw, there was none of this sweep it under the rug. It was out in front. This is what happened. It was a legal play. Everything was good. I mean, we can't wait for him to come back. And I'm talking about national media, but the national media is kind of going with the NHL playbook. What the NHL's putting out. But with Celebrini, you have the Sharks. Well, and I think it's going to hurt.
Yeah, here's the thing about the NHL that I've never liked. They don't promote second tier, or they don't promote, like with commercials and ads, their second tier players, not their superstars, but their second tier guys, and then also some fan favorites. I know some areas do. Some areas like Chicago does it. St. Louis will do it, like with Pat Maroon. Third, fourth line guy, they promote him. But the NHL tends to focus on one or two guys each year, and they just push. But like you said, I think that's a huge mistake.
I mean, if you saw the new commercial from the NHL, it's the Gen Z
commercial. Yeah.
It has Bedard, it has McDavid, it has McKinnon.
McDavid's not a Gen Z.
Yeah,
though.
He is.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is, yeah.
I thought he was a little older than that.
He's
either Gen Z starts at, I believe, 90s.
94?
Like,
it's either 94 or 96.
Well, I thought it went. God, that's a conversation. So I'm
the
Gen
generational
X.
stuff.
I'm Gen X. I was born in '68, and I'm like right. So Gen X is the only generation only gets 15 years, not 20. So we're from 65 to 80, and I thought from 80 to 2000 was the millennials.
No. Because I'm Gen Z, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do believe Gen Z starts at 96.
Right now, yeah, I think so. Yeah, because my son was born in 96, and he says he's considered Gen Z.
Okay.
Like at the very end of
Very end.
96 is considered Gen Z.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So I guess the
97
millennials. So
Yeah.
maybe the millennials only get 15 years too.
I think they do, yeah.
So millennials get from 80 to 95. And
something
then-
like that.
Yeah,
It's
something
the
like
generation stuff is stupid, I think.
Yeah.
So who cares, really?
Just because you're in a certain age group doesn't mean you're this or that.
Sid the Kid these
Yeah.
days. Well, I don't have a problem with them up playing Sidney Crosby.
I don't have a problem with playing Sidney Crosby, but it makes me just shake like nails on a chalkboard when they still call him Sid the Kid. He's not a
He's
kid.
not. He has
35,
great hair.
36, 35, 36.
He's the Sid the Kid has kids.
Yeah, he's 35, 36.
He's actually 36. I
Yeah.
know it because he's 10 years older than me. Exactly 10 years.
And they still call him.
Right.
You want to call him great? You want to call him one of the best players of all time? That's fine with me, but stop calling him Sid the Kid.
He's Gen period.
If you look at, if you look at his profile picture from the NHL, he has gray hair.
Yep,
now.
Yeah.
He's got it going through here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Market your stars to the fullest.
Yeah,
I
do.
agree on that.
I do agree on that, but I also think that the NFL markets their stars like the NFL doesn't just market offensive guys. They market their defense too. They market like when you think of greatest show on turf, the greatest show on turf being in St. Louis, right? There's one player on the greatest show on turf that was the key to that team. He didn't get all the credit, but he's in the Hall of Fame, and he was the anchor, and he got promoted, not just here, by the league. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Orlando Pace.
Yep.
Yeah, Orlando Pace. You've got a left tackle that can control a guy to not hit your quarterback on a blind side. 80% of your problems are done.
Yeah.
Because that tackle, if he gets past that guy, you're screwed. Yeah, Orlando Pace is definitely a top 5 offensive lineman all time.
Yeah, but he was promoted.
Yeah.
Has a star in the league, has a trench player.
So is Adam Timmerman, their center.
Huh?
He was promoted. Adam
Yeah.
Timmerman. They
Yeah.
showed him on commercials with Orlando Pace. And
Yeah.
I agree with you. And what's funny is I don't know if you knew this, 3 or 4 years ago, the NHL hired the same PR firm that the NFL has.
Yeah, well,
And they had all these ideas, and the NHL said, no, we don't
Yeah.
like that idea. We don't like that idea.
they need to market some personalities too, because NHL stars, because a lot of NHL stars are bland. You know what? They're bland because they're made to be bland.
I now that they have that NHL series on Amazon, I think we're going to start seeing some more players' actual personalities.
And some more series like that too.
Yeah, it's the smartest. It's one of the smartest things the NHL has done is make this new series basically their version of Hard Knocks for the NHL, but it's just showcasing different players during different times on a season. Like last year, for instance, they showed McDavid during the Cup final.
Yeah.
Cussing out his teammates, and that was the main commercial. That's what they used as their advert.
That, and you know what else I love that they actually showed on TV? I didn't think they'd show is when Nylander made Matthews cry on the bench. I was sitting there going, "That guy's a grown man and he's balling. What's he balling about?"
I respect them actually doing it, and apparently, none of the NHL teams or the players had anything to do with how Amazon actually produced it, and it was produced the right way. You're showcasing the actual emotion of the game. It's
kind of like that documentary, Making Coco, about Grant Fuhr's story.
Oh yeah.
The NHL had no say so in that or nothing. The guy that did it, the producer, and I'm friends with him. I can't think of his name real quick, but and they promoted that well. Whoever promoted that well. You've got to promote outside of what your normal range is.
Same thing with Ice Guardians. Ice Guardians was promoted very well too. I had a thought. My ADHD just went as we were talking. The things we were talking about.
If you can't think of it, I'll ask Nick something before we go.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Winter Classic?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Just what I was wondering. What do you expect? I know you can't see much on the first 3 games, but you expect it to be a close game. You think the stars will show up? You think it'll be more of a grinding type game? High scoring or low scoring? Let's start there.
It's Wrigley Field. The last time it was at Wrigley, it was a high scoring game because
was that against Detroit?
It was against Detroit in 2009. The main effect in that game was the wind pushing each.
Remember
like
that.
they
You
had
can see their jerseys going like because of the wind.
Because whoever was facing
third base or first base.
It was, I believe
it was like this.
Didn't they switch sides at the 10-minute mark of each period?
No, they did not. No. In that game, I don't even recall them switching sides in the third period because sometimes they do the switch sides in the third period. In that game, I don't believe they did.
You're right. Yeah.
But there was an issue where the wind would be pushing the players with a whole bunch of speed going in to the right field side.
Yeah.
And whoever was on left field was actually benefiting because they didn't have to do much in the defensive zone.
Yeah, I don't know if you played hockey, Nick, but I remember playing in a couple arenas that were open.
Mhm.
You know, they were inside arenas that was covered, but you could see outside and everything.
Yeah.
And the winds would come through and just whip. And the players would tell me, I got to work 10 times harder just to get down the ice. And
Yeah.
you might think that's not possible, but it's possible.
But yeah, so to answer that question, knowing how the Hawks' history is outdoors, we have a losing record of 1 in
4, 6, 6, 6. I think.
Yeah, this will be our 7th. This would be our. Would it be?
It might be your 8th.
We're in 09, 14, 15, 16, 17,
19.
and 19. This will be our 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be our 7th.
You're 1 and 5 then.
Yeah, we're 1 and 5, and granted, no one's remaining from those teams that were in the outdoor games, unless you count Tavo Teravainen, and he played in the 2016 Stadium Series. But really, I could see this game being closer than it has been for history for the Hawks outdoors.
And I don't think there's any Blues left
What?
from that game.
Oh yeah, there are.
That's right. That's
Oh
right.
no.
Because Allen's not there anymore, and their backup was Hutton then.
Yeah, no, actually, you're right. 17.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't. Nobody from 17.
Parenko?
Pareko, maybe.
Pareko, yeah.
Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah, he was
Pareko. I'd have to, but Pareko might have been.
Because Perron's gone.
But you have guys from the Blues just played in the Winter Classic a couple of years ago. So like Kyrus has the most goals in a Winter Classic.
Does he?
Yeah, he got a hat trick in that game, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
He broke some records in that Winter Classic against Minnesota.
Okay.
Right. So I do know that. I do remember that. So there are guys. There are a lot of guys that have played in a Winter Classic, and they played in the coldest Winter Classic. So that may not affect them. Yep. Did the Blues beat them?
I really don't want it to happen that way. I don't want that to happen. Being a Hawks fan, knowing how this season might not be the best season. Granted, I do have them having a 25-point.
But I've noticed when Chicago's in the Winter Classic or the other game, I can't think of the name of the game's called.
Stadium Series.
When they've played in those, most of the games are pretty competitive.
There
was one where I thought they just played terrible.
Oh, the 2016 Stadium Series
terrible.
in Minnesota. That was the worst game I ever watched. In an outdoor game history, they lost 6-1 in that one against Minnesota.
It looked like they just wanted to get home.
The one game they only won was in a blizzard in Soldier Field in 2014 at the Stadium Series.
So Chris Shockey says
Pittsburgh. That's right.
So Chris Colton was in the last one. Did Ott play in 17? Possible. I don't think so though.
I don't think he did.
Probably not.
No.
Right. I don't think so.
Anyway.
So no, here's my other question with that. So you know that the NHL is going to market Bedard.
They're going to also have the Road to the Winter Classic.
Okay.
Back, so.
Road to the Winter. So they're going to market. Who do they market on the Blues side? Because
I'm going to tell you, it'll be Thomas or Kyra or Bennington. It'll be one of those three.
I would put a fourth one in there.
Who's that?
Think about it for a second.
Saad?
Huh?
Do they market
Buchnevich?
Saad?
I don't think they market Saad.
Pareko?
No, not Pareko.
Buchnevich?
No, you're missing a very obvious one. If you're marking Bedard, who else do you want to market? Neighbors.
Yeah.
Neighbors. Okay. Age, right?
Yeah.
Young, right? Or if Dvorsky comes up,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To me, I mean, Thomas makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrou makes sense. Buchnevich makes sense. Bennington makes sense.
Yeah.
However, you're marketing players 6 years, 7 years older.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got to look at it this way too. I think Bennington will be somewhat marketed, even if others are. He's the most hated goalie in the league.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why, because he's had like 5 or 6 things, and 3 of them weren't bad.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I really think that you want it. It's like marketing an older fighter against a younger fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that doesn't work.
No,
right.
It doesn't.
And I think in this situation, it may not work. I think somebody like Neighbors, who's in his second year or third year, right at that same point, has Bedard in his career, early in his career on that entry level contract, and has star potential. Because Bedard's not a star yet, he has star potential. Would you agree with me on that?
I would say he is a star at this point, just because he is a face of a franchise. He does have what he.
If you're the face of a franchise,
and the league is marketing
Yeah.
off of
faces
him,
of the franchise.
Okay.
so he's definitely a star in the league.
I wouldn't call him a superstar, though.
I would put him up there at this point, just because of
I would say
how
a
he's
star.
marketed around the NHL. He's a superstar when it comes to the game.
Okay, fair enough.
I will say this: he's a guy that if he comes to your city and you don't go to any other game of the year, you might
Might
you're
go
probably
to-
gonna
yeah,
that game.
okay.
He draws.
And I think Neighbors has that potential,
Yeah, he does.
right? I think Neighbors has star potential, so that might be where I would market it. Oh
Are
man,
you okay on time, Nick?
Yeah, it should be fine
All right.
still.
yeah. Bedard is a superstar. I'm still going to be a Bedard hater. I don't care what anybody says, as long as he's wearing that jersey.
It's
I'm going to be a Bedard hater.
it's like I said.
I'm predicting this right now. Winter Classic, he will have a Michigan against Bennington again.
Oh, not going to happen. Will not happen. I will. We got to bet something.
I'm
on
not
this.
doing a bet. I'm just
Hold on.
making a fun prediction
okay.
that it will happen.
I'm
Here-
going to the
here's
game.
this.
I'm going to the
Here's
game.
this.
I'm going to
No.
hat and throw it out.
So I know you would not wear a Blues hat.
I won't wear anything St. Louis, and I
Okay.
won't ever do a bet.
Would you wear a veteran's hat?
I won't, because I'm not a veteran. I don't feel like that's the right thing to
I
do.
agree with you.
My dad's a veteran.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't want to.
Yeah, and
I,
a lot of people don't like it when people wear veteran hats.
Yeah,
They're not veterans.
I won't
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
I won't do that.
We'll figure out something.
I'm
We'll
not doing a
figure out
bet.
something.
I don't do bets.
Hey,
And-
maybe he could do a hat that says Vet Ticks.
No, I don't have a vet ticks hat.
No,
but,
honestly, I won't do any bets.
Okay.
I'm just saying it as a fun prediction. Who knows? If he does it in the Winter Classic, that's going to be just a fun prediction to just have
It'd be
out
fun.
there,
It'd be
because it doesn't. The Michigan doesn't come out.
Dvorsky does one on Mrazek.
Oh, I'll see you at that game, Winter Classic. My son and I are going. We haven't bought tickets yet.
God, I wish I
He
could
wants
go.
to get expensive ones. He said he don't mind spending $800 a ticket. I'm like, no, how about I find some for about $400 or $500, and we'll get some good seats.
I
Yeah.
will let you know when it comes to the Winter Classic. Just don't sit low,
No,
because
No, we're going to sit in the middle towards
Yeah.
the top.
The wind
Yeah.
would be bad.
no. If you're in a lower seat, you aren't going to
You
see
see
the
No,
ice.
because of the way the boards are, you don't
Yeah.
see the ice.
I would in 2017. I was sitting down low, and I got managed to upgrade because someone I knew had extra seats
Yeah.
sitting by them. So I just moved up to their seats.
Yeah.
Much better. 2019, I was at the Winter Classic in Notre Dame, and I sat middle of the bowl. It was much better.
Yeah, because I know a buddy of mine that went up to the last Blues game, and he sat low, and he says you can see about this much. Up.
Yeah.
I think, actually, for the Busch Stadium one,
Yeah.
Busch Stadium is lower
It is lower.
than the seats.
Yep.
Like the stadium, because it's lower than ground level.
Yep.
It's like
It's already
it's 30 feet. I think it's our 15 feet
the foundation.
lower than street level.
Mhm.
So the seats themselves sit a little bit
They
higher.
just a little higher than your normal seat.
Sorry.
But he was sitting, and I don't know if you were familiar with Busch Stadium. He was sitting. You have the green seats.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
plate. He was sitting in two sections over.
Yeah, and you could. I know you could see.
He said he could see some of it in the corners. He
Yeah.
said, but when they got on his side, you could only
Yeah.
see from here up.
I got to tell you, we had a great show last week, and we were all virtual. Now that we're together, God, I wish we could do this every week. I'm sorry, it's been a good show, and I know it's Blues related, and you're a Blackhawks fan. If we did it every week, I think we would shift. Try and pay more attention, shift it, play into the rivalry. I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And I want to do that more during the season. I do. If you're able to come on, I want to start playing more. So if we do games or if we do shows during the season, off game shows, have you send me information that I can talk about. So I'm a little more, because I can't watch every game. I just can't. Right. So you can give me, so I can talk along your pretext and promote your show too.
Okay.
Promote Windy City Hockey on YouTube. You do pretty good. You do over 1,000 views per show, right?
No, not
What'd you have? You had like 280 a couple episodes ago.
Couple episodes,
About
yeah.
300?
It fluctuates.
Yeah.
Also, it's the start of the season. People are starting to just get back
Yeah.
into it.
Mhm.
It takes some time. It
fluctuates.
takes
Yeah.
time.
If it's like a video, I'm at a game and I do like get a capture, that
Yeah.
thing blows up
Pretty good,
because
yeah.
I went to the NCAA tournament when I was over at Centene
Yep.
Yeah.
for Michigan State.
Yeah.
And that was the game where Frank Nazer had a beautiful pass between the legs and dished
Yeah.
it across the ice, and it led to a goal. Yeah, I had that on video
Oh, cool.
from my seat,
That's awesome.
and that ended up being probably my third most popular video with almost 15,000 views or something like that.
I haven't been to.
I haven't had 15,000 views if you took all my shows and put them together.
When I had my podcast,
Yeah.
and I can show you, pictures of it from my what do they call it, your back end, where you can see all your stats.
Yeah.
When I started in 2016, I was getting about 400 people to download and listen, and it was recorded. I didn't do it live.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I built it up to 2018-19, and I had 1.5 million downloads and views in 1 year.
Yeah. So I've never had that.
Yeah,
And I don't.
and
I honestly don't care
you have
anymore.
to keep it going because I
Yeah.
got sick and I couldn't keep it going. I just went.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, congratulations on the winner for the first win over a top 10. Yeah, they beat who did they beat? They beat them 1 out of 2 games. Who did they beat, Shockey? I can't remember. I want to say Ohio State, but I might be wrong. But they did beat somebody pretty high end. He'll probably pop it in. But this has been, first time that we've been Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin, right? This is the first time we've ever, been live together and met. You and me just met for the first time last week or 2 weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago now.
Yeah, but this has been a great show. We've had fun. We've had decent amount of people watching. I've seen it up to like 12 or 15, and we've had good comments in here. It's great. Predictions for I want to do. We'll end with some predictions.
I want to get Wendy before he leaves the Central Division. Who he thinks top to bottom is going to be before he leaves.
Yeah, okay. Go with that, and then I'll go with what I was going to do. So you go first,
I
bud.
just want to make sure he gets his opinion in on the division.
Division top to bottom. I have Dallas at first,
Me too.
Nashville second, even though they're off to a slow start. Colorado third, even though they're at a slow
Very
start.
slow.
Winnipeg fourth, Utah fifth, Minnesota sixth, Chicago seventh,
The Blue
and
Jays.
St. Louis eighth.
I still and I get it, Wendy. I get it. I love you to death as a friend. You know this, but I cannot see. You said the Blues didn't get better with the players they brought in. However, I look at the players they brought in, going, they're better than the players that left.
Yeah.
So if they're better than the players that left, how can you say that they didn't bring in players to get better? And then say they lost 20 points. That's just where I'm fighting.
No, I think he understands that they're going to be better with some younger guys and guys they brought in.
Yeah.
I think he just feels that that's not going to be enough. Am I right?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. And also the fact is, I just don't see much with the team to actually succeed much in a 82 game season.
From the outside, what do you think is their biggest problem?
I think it's their offense. They get stuck to the boards way too much.
I agree.
They haven't been during this season so far. They haven't
better.
been as
It's better this season.
they haven't been stuck to the boards as much as they were in
Okay.
preseason.
No.
They have not, and that's what I talked about. Like when they've been open, that's when the goals have come.
Okay.
Right when they've been able to get open. One of the things that people keep saying is that Kyrou and Thomas shouldn't be together, and I think there's an asterisk to this. Kyrou and Thomas shouldn't be together 5-on-5 if you're not going to allow them to play in space.
agree.
If you're going when they're on the power play and their space, one of my top concerns, power play, 33%. They're top of the league. I mean, early, it's still early, right? Like they're Chicago's tied for first with 42%. You're not staying at 42%. Okay?
No, well, it just helps. I mean, it really helps for that percentages because they went 3 for 3 against the Edmonton Oilers the other night and had a power play goal against. No, they did not have a power play goal against the Jets. I think that was our first time we really had any power play time in this season.
So you're not staying at 42%,
Definitely
right?
not.
However, the Blues at 33%, they're not going to stay there. but they could be in that 28, 29%.
That's where they need to be.
Right.
That's where they need to
I
be.
mean, when you look at you look at the Blues right now and how they're playing on the power play, could you see them in the high 20s? I could.
Okay.
Right. I could see them. I could see 27, 28%. I could see them staying in that range. Their penalty kill, they're at 80%. A little lower than I like. But I like the 80. That's to me is the benchmark.
That's the lowest.
Your
you wanna
penalty
be.
kill has to be 80 or better. Has to be.
I would prefer
And-
it to be around 83, 84.
I'm my like number I want is 85.
That's reasonable.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Seeing them at 80 now, could I see them at 85? Absolutely. Absolutely, I could.
Well, I think one thing about this team people don't realize is a lot of people think that it's Thomas and Kyra are only like to St. Louis, and I don't think this is a way to actually judge a player. But Sidney Crosby in his past, when he plays against other good players, when he was young, I think he got Ovechkin's stick, and he got an autograph on his stick, and he gave it to Crosby.
Mhm.
He doesn't do that much, and he's done that both with Thomas and Kyra after they played. He's wanted an autograph stick. So if a good player thinks these young players are pretty good, I tend to listen to him.
Yeah. I just think that the thing with them is when they have space,
They're great.
they're great. When they're not, I talked about it, the parachute on the back.
Mhm.
When the system creates the parachute, that's where you see the
Slow it down.
struggles.
Yep.
So again, remember me talking about this voice. What voice are they going to hear with Claude Julien? Claude Julien's going to see this. I'm absolutely certain of this.
Yep.
Claude Julien is
Great
going to
coach.
see this parachute effect.
Yep.
And he's going to try and fix it. It's how he fixes it. Because Claude Julien is too good of a coach to not realize what's going on.
Yep.
Mhm.
He should have never been ran out of Vancouver. Never.
Right?
Was it with Vancouver? I
Yes.
thought it was
Yeah.
Montreal
No.
and Boston.
He went to Vancouver.
No, I think
That was Bruce Boudreau.
That's
that
right.
got
no, that was
thrown.
Boudreau,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But he's too good of a coach not to sit there and go,
He's an offensive coach.
look at Kyrou and these goals he's getting when he's in space and say, okay, Thomas and Kyrou work together in space. How do I get them space?
Well, I think you also have to look at it this way. I think you both will agree with me. Kyra and Thomas can try to get space all they want, but the other guys on the ice with them, the defenseman and the other forward, they can help out with that because they can create
Boberg
mismatches.
is. Boberg is.
Yeah. They can create
Right?
mismatches to where it causes guys to more than one guy to go towards another player. Then you've got a lot of space for Thomas or Kyra.
I've already seen that from Boberg, and I've seen it from Holloway.
Yeah. Especially Broberg.
Right?
I like
So
Broberg.
so I do think that if they start allowing those guys, especially on the power play, to work in space, that's why I think the power play could stay at 28%. That's exactly why I think the power play could stay at 28%. And then the other thing that I think the Blues have that they're not getting credit for is I think that they have scoring from 2, 3, and 4. They're not going to get it consistently from 4, but they're going to get it from 4 when they need it. The San Jose game is a prime example of that. San Jose has the Blues number. They're fast. They move through the zone. They get through the neutral zone. They're young. They're hungry. And they have the Blues number. That fourth line got goals when the fourth line needed to get goals. And if your fourth line can win you a game like that, I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against the last team in the league or the top team in the league. If your fourth line can win you a game that you should have lost, you have a chance to have a good season. And we saw that against San Jose. We saw a fourth line team, Walker, Foxa, and I forget who the other one was on that. Suter, the third pairing defenseman, all getting involved and creating those opportunities when those opportunities needed to be created.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Makes sense? Well, I know you need to leave here soon, and we've had a great show. We're at an hour and a half. We did an hour 45 minutes last time, so I think it's great. I want to say thank you to first to my co-host, to Lance. It is an honor and a pleasure anytime we can meet. And I got to tell you this, you look great.
Thank you so much.
I know you're going through health issues, but you look really,
Thank
really
you
good.
very much.
And Nick, Wendy, thank you, my friend.
No problem.
The friendship that you've shown me for the past 5 years age difference and everything else. I greatly, greatly appreciate it.
If every Blackhawks fan was like him, I wouldn't have as much a problem with the Blackhawks.
I'd still fucking hate him. I just wouldn't hate him as much, but I'd still hate him. You know what? This has been a great show. Let me say thank you, Vitale's Hideaway. You have been a great, great host. The food is great. The drinks are great. Come try it out. Please, this is going to be the official sponsor. And I say sponsor, they're not paying me, but yeah, I'm doing it out of, I love the place, right?
Real quick.
Yes.
Since I've been diagnosed with cancer, I've lost 50 pounds. But if I keep coming here, I won't be, I've lost 50 pounds. It'll be all back on me because it's so good.
Nick, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. Right here. This is
I'll
for
get
you,
up and
sir.
talk. Yep. Thank you.
I'll come on with you guys for a second. You don't mind?
I'll give you the spot.
No, you're good.
Right. Yeah. Well, Wendy's going to have to leave, and we're killing it out here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Nick, we just got to say thank you. The food is amazing. And I apologize for spilling it on the deck there. I was trying to show it on the camera, and I'm a klutz.
Just
But-
one of our many good food items. Yes.
Well, the guys you served with in the Navy, they said you always spill crap on them.
Yeah. But we've enjoyed it. I wish I could do this up here every week. I really, really do. We're going to do the Tuesday shows. It's going to be yours. It'll be on your page so your customers can watch the show, and we'll keep promoting this place. We've loved it. And again, your hospitality has been amazing. Thank you so
Second
much.
to none.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for what you do.
And I hope you enjoyed the show. I wish we could have got more people up here, but I mean, we had people watching, and we've had people asking for food. So,
Absolutely.
right.
Good.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Let's go Blues.
Yes.
Let's go Blues. Okay, guys, this has been an amazing, wonderful show. I love you each and all. So this is Guy for Wendy and Lance to drop the Scott saying what?
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Who are you Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues!